Hello, peeps. My name is Ozie Ejiofor. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening to me from. If there is anything that I fear so much in my entire existence, it is divorce. I don't know how to express this, but I will do it in the barest way I can. If there is anything that that makes me scared, it is divorce. If I have waited so much this long, I'm not going to even settle for less. People who are also scared of separation. If you're in marriage, in this little job of mine, I don't hear 99, what 100? If you're in marriage, or even before you get married, we have people who are called Omunadi. People whose acceptance determines if you're coming in, or even when you're in, if you're going to have peace, or even when you have peace, the marriage is going to last, or even when it's lasting, they are so scared and they want their brother to either divorce you or even get another wife. If you're in marriage and you do not experience the fierce nature of horrible umunedi, biko na-ekwu okwu a, ị na-ekwere m tụliwe mma gị enu. If I say one, just to say tunie mma gị enu, tell your wife, call her closer. Tell her this is what Ozioma is saying. If you're in marriage and you have ndu de fologaro, tunie mma gị enu. If you're in marriage, you do not have fierce, terrible umunnedi, both male and female. Before you get married, and your husband's sister accepts you, go batabaneo, if you do not experience the nature of ndukwe na ndekwe before they marry you in a given family, if you're in marriage and your mother-in-law is at peace with you, as nwaanyị anụrụ anụ, tunie mma gị enu. Guys, if you marry a wife who has come into the family with an open heart and is willing to accept your own family as her own family without blemish, hey, machagharịwa ka ọsakpụ agwụ, tuniwe mma gị enu na-agba ala nta. It's not a joke. Guys, if you're marrying a new wife and she's not feasted like this, miambo, wee na-eche onye ya agwụ ya nta na nke ka o wee dọọ ya vam vam vam, hai, tuniwe mma gị enu, you're in peace. Nwere ihe dịka gị, ịnụtara ọmarịcha nwaanyị. If you eventually have married and your wife does not prefer her own people than your own people, hey, biko, mma gị, macha ya amacha. Just wave it everywhere. Ịmacha ya itunye ya enu. Because half the time, she prefers her own people to visit than your own people to visit. It's the truth. It's the very big truth. If you are in marriage and your husband does not suddenly see you as a threat, of onye ọ na-contend with. No, to one. Just fuo ukwu ogodogo. Yes, I if you're in marriage and your is rich yet very submissive, nwa honey, nwa sweetie, nwa darling, na-esiri gị dakụ na-enwazi anya yet very active. My brother, mia you know as I speak to you. Obune or not so call her on the phone and see her baby. See her baby. I just called to say if you are in marriage and you have a wife who is entirely supportive, and you also have a husband who is entirely supportive, without first of all thinking of you people agree in synergy. Bikporia yoma, bie yoma, tunie magenu, itunicha yenu, bie munye goma. Egudo. There is fire on the mountain. Guys, the truth is, it looks like no bata can emezina nundi na nwunye. Everybody nazo territory nkiyo. Everybody nazo right yao. Yes, she would love you. She would care for you. But everybody is really guarding their territory. If you're in marriage again and your wife sees your weak points and not tell her people who will constantly ridicule you at interval and all unklinkogo. Hey! Macharian now. Daria. Just Daia. You know what Daia is? It is a see everywhere. Daria. You know why. It's the truth. Because a lot of women ridicule their husbands in front of their brothers and sisters to the point that their husbands are so worthless in the eyes of the wife's brothers and sisters. They are so worthless. Especially again if he doesn't have anything to offer. If your wife and tells her family members everything about her family, about you, your weak points and your strength, to the point that her family members no longer regard you as an in-law, as an in-law, azachari. Oh my Jesus. Blunder don't happen. If you're married to a man who does not tell his own family members about his wife, her weaknesses and things she does and doesn't do well, to the point that his younger and senior sisters still sees the wife as our amiable wife. No. Just fecha nwa nke otu a na-enye otu a chaku fecha anya chaku ịnọ n'ezigbo ebe. If your husband does not tell his brothers and sisters your weak points to the point that the sisters-in-law are now seeing you as osochiegbu, as nkrinka mmadụ, as onye anụbatara since anụbatara ya so nwunye ka ọma, as somebody who they can no longer receive anything from their brother except they first of all settle you and your people. Because who dependently hate their brother Gwaloha that will make them start seeing you in a given light. One, it is an Ike Oguru situation. The making false accusation and exaggerating very minor things, my love, Chike Omile, is the worst of it all. To escalate the two families, Hawara Akpo na Ojari, Umuleri na Aguleri, or ihe ha ya abụzi. Just a very small trouble that happens in every other family. The wife will just chip it into the various families and various sisters or various ndos. And hear me well. They are even chipping this in thinking no madeka ha na-agwa. Without knowing no agha na-eri ha ka ha na-agwa. The most terrible mistake that people make in marriage is constantly sharing what's happening inside the home to the very wrong people. People who see you all, the both of you, very happy, and every time you're smiling, and they would say, "Gini na atodunda, harachara sugar." They would want to reduce your bar like MTN network. MTN network ha na-ewe n'ibe a enu. Ndị nke a chọrọ reduce the network dị gị n'iru ka echidebe ọchị. Gịnị na-atọ? If you're in marriage and you've become nonchalant, you experience a woman who is become nonchalant in every of your trouble. She cares only for herself and her children. Now, oh my goodness, nothing kills a man as much as that. When a woman no longer cares for her husband, she only bothers about herself and her children. Also, man, the man is already half dead. Because a lot of women do not realize that the strength of their men comes from them. A lot of women fail to even understand that the strength that they see their husband possess and flaunt is actually a work that they, as the wives, have done in the family. When you show a man, say, no, mechagokwere gị ihe niile ọ kpọrọ gị n'ụlọ agụ bịa ma erie o. After all, ịmụtagori nwoke mụtara ya nwaanyị, you chopped her snot. Ọ na-eje achụrụ ụmụasa 100 ya jee chụba ha, you no care. So far na ụmụ gị dị mma, ha na-eriju afọ na-eje akwụkwọ dị mma, na-eme ihe niile very well. Nke a gbasazirie, ọ mara ka ọ na-adụnya dị. You don't use your hand scatter your family. You don't use your hand scatter your family. You know, some men are so scared of the rise of their wives. Nenu, Chineke adakwa iberibe o. The reason he created Adam and saw that something was really missing around that man and created another person called Eve from the rib of that man, Adam, and dashed him, the Eve, as a helpmate, not as the man. As a helpmate. Men, women know, if you're married and you have a husband who provides ntananke in the family and has not turned you into the husband instead of the wife that you ought to be. No. That's this morning. You have a husband. Like he doesn't care how much you earn. All he cares about is mabarumuma. Mubarumuma. Neteberumumazi anya. Tirimuchu. Kaina abogaranya na akpata ife anyị na-eri. I don't care how much you earn. mama nwoke ahụ ejechaa ebe ọbụla natakwa nderi just pụta na ọnụ ụzọ narị ya portfolio narị ya akpịa narị ya efie mịa ya ọnụ ọ naba na mkpu ome ụlọ mekie sure na nne ya adịwo ready tirie mmiri o ji awụ ahụ ọwụ arụ ịpụta ịjụọ ya how was your day today ya ka ọrụ gị ihe mere ụbọchị ahụ ọ na-eri nri na-enye ya akụkọ ihe mere n'ụlọ. You have a husband. Because a lot of men are so scared of their wife's rise, are so scared that their wife doesn't provide what he should be providing. Apparently, because the wife has become really helpful in some areas of the family, and then he sees it as a right and not a privilege anymore, and now decides that you will be doing that thing come rain, come shine. Forgetting that it is his prerequisites to do those that he ought to do as the husband of the house. Before you know what's happening, it is now you who is the husband in a nyangwa as oriako. Hey! Jesus, you do not understand what God have done and what he has done entirely for you, for marrying a man who is not scared of your rise. Like Izuzuo, onye ga-azụ oche, gwa gị na mere nọ na this meeting, and even after you would leave this meeting, mere shall continue. No nwere ihe eji ego ga-eme, na ego go asị nwaanyị na anaghị agbụ ya rọba, nwanshi ego. If you have a man who sees your money as nwanshi ego, jee mani be enu tiri Muslim fan ya na-ekuru iri gbara ọtọ n'ime ụlọ ya kubeghi ya na-aba everywhere n'udo dị na ndụ. A lot of women has gradually turned into the man of the house pathetically. They pay the school fees, they pay the house rents, they pay the various bills, light bills, water bills, ihe niile bills. They even mezie nwoke go iri akwa, go iye shoe, go iye ihe niile a na-eri eri n'ụlọ. The man doesn't even know how the money comes. Ihe ọma bụ nni adụ n'ụna esi ya eyi ọdụ nyenu m nni ka ndị oricha nni ọkụchara gị efere itiri ya anụ ọbụ na ọkpụkpụ ụdị ya ọ gbakwasara gị mba n'enu ya si gị ọ maka na o wetara ego ka ya eji wee na-enye ya ọkpụkpụ n'ụna were otoro chere gị ya were ịkọ chere gị ya tikwasara gị ya ihe n'enu rakwa gị n'enu ya were amụ pịakwa gị n'isi ịfụrụ na nsogbu adịgo na ndụ. Ifuru na ezigbo nsogbu adịgo na ndụ. Marriage. It is so sweet. Mana, because everybody is thinking of guarding their territories. The thing adigo ka barter, trade by barter. Now, people are no longer free in marriages because you tell the woman everything. Ofu was yunuge seoku, a little slight quarrel. She tells you ochie na ọfụ. Kọrọ ụwa niile ihe niile i kwuru maka ha. Kọrọ ndị ogbe niile all that you've said about them. Jide isi go na all your business partners and associates. Tell them all the secrets of the business that you've been telling her. Becomes a traitor in all ramifications. She returns you to square zero because she has sworn to make sure you suffer because you hurt her only a little. Nwaanyị iji ego gụnụ. Nwaanyị iji ego gụnụ. The same with the men. A lot of guys are bulugo woman rapper. woman pant, woman dross, to the point that they no longer want to take responsibility as the man of the house. They've gradually tilted towards becoming the woman of the house and make their women the men in the house. In decision making, in monetary deliveries, in purchases, in care, in aspirations, they just are so relaxed and at ease on Zion because the woman has taken charge of bringing one thing or the other for the family to be in one good unit. Obuluzie a right, Diallo a full-fledged man for lacking provision, lacking taking care of his children, lacking support, lacking love, lacking ijenadume, he will not even remember that the woman needs some tap on her back, nejisike, because he has seen her as a superhero or Spider-Man who must do this and do that because, oh my God. Ụmụnwaanyị afọ okwu n'ihe o. Ụmụnwaanyị afụgo nnọọ ihe n'aka ụfọdụ ụmụ nwoke. In all honesty. And it's not like even when you're doing this for some of the guys that they are supportive. Ihe a ka ha ya na-ebu na-akọsasịrị ụmụnne ha na ọkwari akwụna ka ị na-agba. Ọ bịara ego ọ gbatara na dis akwụna ka eji enyeju gị afọ as the man of the house. Very shameless idiot. The same money nwunye gị ahụ na-agbata na akwụna. Isi na akwụna ka ọ na-agba. The woman will work in the morning and work in the evening just to make sure that she makes ends meet so that meat will not end. Then je call ụmụnne gị your sisters, your immediate families, your wife's mother, your wife's sisters. Na nwanne ha nwaanyị bụ akwụna ka ọ na-agba na were agbata ego eji eri ogo nke amazi m mgbe salary ya ji abịa na mgbe salary ya eji ha abịa. Excuse me, young man. Eche m ekere ọrụ eke. Echedị m ekere ọrụ eke. How come suddenly you're sounding like a broken drum? How come? How come you've stopped realizing na nwoke nwere ọrụ ya n'ezinụlọ, nwaanyị nwere ọrụ ya n'ezinụlọ? A lot of women in various families are the breadwinners. Let me tell you, divorce, 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 divorce. Let me tell you what is. Ọ bụrụ ihe aha a na-akọ na-ese okwu. The real issue is that the woman has turned into the man of the house, as the man is no longer providing for the family and is also not going to be supporting the woman in the small things that she does in bringing monies to the table. Rather, he prefers to insult the daily living daylight out of her consistently and make the woman have a downtrodden spirit. Ọkwụsị hustle, ọkwụsị ịchụta ego, agụụ agụbazie ya na ụmụ ya. It gets to a point ebe agụụ ga-agụkarị nwaanyị na ụmụ ya, she takes the bull by the horn and steps out and step aside. Ọ bụrụ efere ọsaba, onwe nwoke kwere ihe nkwa na ọ ya emeri ya nke anụnwa, o jee godu jee meet godu daman ma ọ na-enweta ego. Nya nwa na ụmụ ya na the motherfucker die ji eri nri. Why? That's the reason for most divorce cases. Ọ bụrụ ihe a na-akọ. Ọ bụrụ ihe ahụ a na-akọ. Not a lot of women want to go and sleep out with another man. Nwanne, only if you see a woman die na-emeri ihe niile. Na very few they fuck up. Na very few na anyụ nse n'ụlọ ụka. Nwaanyị di ya na-emeri ihe niile. Na very few they do anyhow. But go and see a woman who does everything for the family and the husband, they fuck up. jee ka ịfụ ka ọ dị, ọ na-adụ ka nkịrịnka akwa, ọ na-adị ka ihe oke tara gbuo, ọ na-adụ ka ihe agwọ nụrụ gbuo, because ọ naghị eri nri belụsọ ụmụ ya eriri, ọ naghị aṅụ tii belụsọ ụmụ ya aṅụrụ, ọ naghị eyi akwa ka o wee mechite die iru. If there is donation, ọ ga-atụ nke tụọ nke die ka ihere ghara ime ha. Ọ ga-akwụ ụgwọ ụlọ, ọ ga-akwụ ụgwọ mitin, ọ ga-akwụ ụgwọ mmiri, ọ ga-agba gas, ọ ga-egote ọkụ. Men, to round it and crown it up, the husband na-eti ejaja, the husband na-akpụ ya jaja, the husband na-akọsasị afọ ya jaja, the husband ala ọvụrụ ya chaa. Ihe ọ na-achọ bụ otu ọ ya esi wee gbuo ya ka o were akụ na ụba ya, ka o were ego ya, ma ọ bụkwa na o nwere nke o debere. Nke a ya ha atọ ụfọdụ ndị tọ. Now, a lot of them will remind me, Ijele mechie ọnụ, you are not married, so stop talking about marriage. Kịtịkpe enweghị nwanne gbagbuo ohu. If you think that in few months, in 40 years, if you think that na me nwere capacity, especially n'ọrụ na-arụ, ịma enough about marriage and what it entails, ịma na ịbụ onye iberibe, and ịkọ rubbish na page m blọk ọgụ gwa gị na ọmụnwe agbaghị ụzọ were mgba na ba ya, ọ naghị echi. Men and women ga-ewepụ their selfish interests wee nụọ di na nwunye, di na nwunye wee na-atọ ụtọ. Kama anụrọ di, ana m eme oyi. Ịnụkwara ihe m kwuru? Abụrụ m celibate, ana m eje na dume, ana m apịa ọkụ, ana m eme oyi. Ana m eji usi ahụ ama ụtọ nsị as well. Mene edweren, mene aja adụ agha. People must come to this union selflessly. The only thing that will unite this union so sweet is selflessness. Ihe ọ ya bụ mmeghe, ọ yara adịghị mma, nwaanyị ji ememe ya. That's basically it. Ihe ọ ya bụ emeghe, ọ yara adịghị mma, why do it to some other person? The woman whom you've sworn that you're not going to give peace in her marriage as nne nwanna di ọ na-anụ anụ, emeghe, ọ ya adịghị mma. If you're married somewhere and they've refused to give you peace, like you're refusing your brother's wife from having peace, would you like it? All these and more are the questions that requires answers. Woman, this man of your youth that God has given you free of charge, that came from Mirinasa and Agonasa and came paid your dowry and gave you a sumptuous wedding and super traditional marriage, manke emereme melunego, but will make sure that nothing was lacking in your head, on your head. The only thing that this man requires from you is maximum respect. I think maximum respect. Ihe ọ na-abụ iburu di ị na-akọsasị na-akọ ma nke o mere ma nke o mere. When there is little problem, then you tell the world his weak points. Ụfọdụ na-akọ to the point na nwa egbe nta di ha pịalụ mpe. They lack words to even say out. They want to talk stupidly. When you ridicule a man and ridicule the real essence of the man, What more is left? No. Please. Selflessness. A healthy marriage will not keep malice for more than 24 hours. For more than 2 days. Max 3 days. A healthy relationship entirely, a healthy marriage should not keep malice in their homes for more than 24 hours. 2 days, max 3 days. Una akpọ onwe unu meeting. Onye ọbụla akọ ife na-ewu, everybody will go their way. Continue your life and pretend nothing ever happened. That is the essence and the sweetness and the rudiments of matrimony. Mana ifulu eme ego obele ihe itinye na kula. Ị na-eche mgbe onye a mere, oti nke na kula. Ọ na-eche mgbe ị mekwara, otinye na kula, a na-emetu. Ichebe mgbe o mere, itinye na kula nke gị, ọ bụrụ tutu. Then one day you people are all waiting for an outburst. Ka onye ọwụna wee mara oke mma na uri ọgbọ. Then you tell your husband he like it. Then he tells you all you've been doing that makes you a bad wife. Iwe ju obi, ọnụma eju afọ. Everybody voicing out those horrible things that you all are voicing out and thinking it's cool. Mgbe ikwucha anụ, ịkọwawa. Oh yes, it's not about saying it alone. Mgbe ikwuchara, ịkọwawa. Because there are things that people say when they are angry that calls for serious attention. The person will ask you again, Nne, you said I used to do this at this point when we were talking yesterday. Sorry, I'm not trying to resurrect this quarrel again, but I needed to be sure that that thing you said was only a mere talk, but I took it seriously. Ịkọwawa, ọ bụrụ ihe iwe wetara. My husband, you said I am ashawo. I don't know where that word came from. Is there something that makes me an ashawo? Have I slept with another man that made me an ashawo? Or, Chelu, how did you classify me to be one? Ikowawa. Iya kowachachia. Guys, alụmdi na nwunye abụrụkwa mbenefe o. It's not a bed of roses. Ọ bụrụ mbenefe. You must be mentally sound to grab it. Otherwise, like I said, husbands and wives, if you have those things that I counted and even more, a man who doesn't see his wife as a trait, a woman who does not see her husband as a mole, jee tụniwe mma gị enu, jee gbaba egwu, jee tụwa ọṅa, ụmụ nwoke tụniwe mma gị enu, jee dabe ya. Respect is reciprocal. Everybody should respect each other's boundaries in this union. In this union, everybody should respect each other's thoughts. In this union, it's important. I hope this sings. I hope it gets to the women. I also hope it gets to the men. Don't make the woman the man of the house, no matter how hard things has become. No matter how hard things are not turning out well for you. Don't tell the woman everything. Women, Don't tell your husbands everything about your home. It's part of the suffering that a lot of women face today. Because you do not have any helper in your father's house because you told him so. Because and a lot of men have killed a couple of women and they were men. A couple of women have ridiculed men, went out and take their properties, chasing men away in their own houses. N'obodo oyibo ka ọkacha. Yet, enwere ife men because now the system supports women more than men. Ruo ne mgbe ijecha obodo oyibo na ịnata Nigeria na anyị nọ na-eche. You know, that's what it is. Onye nwere ntị, ya nụrụ. Those who would say you're not married, so don't tell us about marriage. Unu ma eziokwu bụ ndị ara. You know what it is? Unu mara eziokwu. Then people who are entirely ungrateful in this union, I'm sorry for you because your husband buys you a thing, you never appreciate. Your wife buys you a thing, you never appreciate. Before now, onye owu na face onwe. After all, if I buy you something, they say thank you, they like am. So I will just give you money, make you go buy. The wife will say, after all, if I buy you something, you say it's not fine, you say it's not original, you say it's not at the amount that you're buying your own. It's the one I have that I can give. Be thankful. Appreciate yourselves. Orimba. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for also following. I say the entire truth. I don't leave any stone unturned. I get my own wahala, but I still know say wahala no dey finish. Have a great day, guys. Happy Monday. My name is Ozie Ejiofor, the daughter of Norwegian people, the one whose flash of her teeth brings out money from your pocket. Igbo mi ijele aga m aza gị. Ofu nwa amụrụ ọfụma ma ibie daa n'enu, ada na ọfịja ji eme ọnụ, ada ọ na-abịa efere ọchị eze ego gị niile a na-adasịsị. Ekene m ndị be anyị si unu ya dịla unu n'ezi mma. Peace out.